Hi, welcome everyone. It is so lovely to be here with all of you. We're just going to give people really a minute or so to pop on and join us before we officially begin. And so there we go, situate that a little bit better. Make sure you have everything you need to support yourself, to nurture yourself, to be comfortable, to gather, to be together in this beautiful space this morning. At least it's morning time here in Los Angeles. So let's see where everyone is from. Let's see, we have Laurel Canyon here in LA, Playa del Rey, Sacramento, Miami, Toronto, Woodland Hills, another Toronto, Northern California. Oh, Mary's listening to the birds from her porch in Wisconsin. I love that. That's so sweet. Palos Verdes, Gwen, of course, is here from Georgia. Brad from DC. Beautiful. Rainy Northwest, the UK. Cornwall, UK, Florida, Jerusalem. Hi, Rivka. Washington. Beautiful. Oh, it's always so wonderful just to be here with all of you from literally all over the world, and for us to be together and to gather in this truly sacred space. And so, of course, unless you have been just completely living under a rock, there has been so much that has gone on in the United States these past few weeks, and even in the world, because there have been so many incredible peaceful protests, not only on behalf of really honoring and fighting for justice of George Floyd's life, but also for all of our Black friends and family and brothers and sisters. And it's been such a beautiful thing to watch. And I was thinking, there's this spiritual teacher named Father Richard Rohr, who once said, if we don't transform what we're feeling, we will transmit it. And I feel like we have been in this deep place of transmitting all of our shadow sides, all of the things that we have been too fearful to look at, and perhaps even ignorant of, not even had the chance, not even the knowing, because of our deep privileges. And this is a moment in time that is a true reckoning. And in psychology, there is something called change theory. And the idea behind that, at its most basic understanding, is that when our distress becomes great enough, and when we can no longer tolerate that distress, that is when change occurs. And so, as painful as this time has been, and I don't even just mean over the past few weeks, but also over the past few months, starting with the coronavirus and everyone having to shelter in place, and many people losing their jobs and their lives, and how it's just deeply affected us. And I keep coming back to this word, and so I apologize if it feels like I'm overusing it, but it does feel like there is this reckoning right now, this call to task, this distress that we have been put under, in which our nervous systems and our hearts and our beings are saying we can no longer tolerate things as they have been. We can no longer treat our environment in the way that we have. We can no longer continue with such a broken healthcare system, with a government that is divided and fractured and ill-equipped to really support the people in which it governs, and for the treatment and the respect of everyone, and most importantly, for the Black people in the United States. And I can't speak to the treatment of Black people in other countries. And so I know there are those that are joining us from other countries, and I just want to acknowledge that. And I want to acknowledge that I am a profoundly privileged white woman who is sitting here today. And I have dedicated a large part of my personal growth and professional work to being an anti-racist advocate and ally. And yet I have so much more to do. And we are all in this for the long haul. And change does not happen overnight. While I can feel that our distress has become great enough, because there is a true rising up, we must also continue to make choices and stay dedicated. Because Maya Angelou is famous for saying, when we know better, we do better. And while that is true, we also forget. We fall back into our privileges. We get comfortable again, even watching as states are opening up and people are back together and eating in restaurants. It's almost surreal sometimes to see how it's shifting and changing. And in some ways feels like, oh, okay, we're right back to where we were. And I deeply hope not. I hope and pray and am dedicated and committed to the work so that we actually don't go back to what normal was before, that we stop transmuting that which is the darkness inside of us, the pain, the unspoken, the undealt with, and that we use these times as an opportunity to truly transform so that there can be change in the deepest cores, not only of each of us individually, but as humans, as people, as a nation, as a universe, as an earth, and that we each can find our way, because we all have many different talents and ways of showing up in the world, but that we each find our own way to use our voice and to tend to our hearts. And I also want to invite the invitation to rest too. And I know that can feel, there can be guilt that comes up with that. And yet, because this is a true marathon, we must also rest. And I know that our hearts are so weary and hurting from this time. And they need to be. We need to, particularly those of us that are white, we need to allow ourselves to feel this pain and this discomfort and not turn away. And at the same time, we need to also tend to ourselves so that we can continue to show up each day in the way that we are able to, with our gifts and our hearts. And same with taking care of our beautiful planet that has gotten cleaner and greener while we have all been sheltering at home and finding ways to tend to this precious earth and to all the souls that dwell in it. And so I just invite us all just to take a big, deep breath and hold the inhalation and then sigh it out. And let's take one more of those, having a big breath in and holding the inhale and audibly sighing it out. Roll your neck a little bit. Roll your shoulders. These are often the places where we hold tension and tightness. Allowing your body to settle, to arrive, to be here. And as we begin this meditation, know that you are sitting with over 140 other folks whose hearts and minds and souls have gathered together to sit in this sacred space, to tune into our own hearts and to feel the connection of the hearts within each of us in this beautiful community. And so I invite you now to close your eyes. And if that doesn't feel comfortable, just find a place to gaze softly. And take a few more of those long, slow, nourishing breaths. And with each inhale, inviting more and more of your attention inward, inhabiting your entire body. There's nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to be doing. Just being here right now. And I invite you now to place your hands on your body in a way that feels loving and nurturing. Perhaps it's a hand on the heart or the belly, or even holding yourself in a gentle hug, or resting your face in your hands, listening to your own inner wisdom, and allowing yourself to receive this loving, comforting touch. And feel the warmth and pressure of the hands against your body. And allow yourself to receive. This dear, precious, wild, tender, vulnerable heart we each carry in our bodies has been in overdrive, been feeling so many different emotions, from hurt, confusion, anger, rage, sadness, and perhaps even excitement for what can be, and even some shame and guilt. And so just for a moment, see if you can allow space for all these feelings just to be here without being pushed away, without feeling badly for feeling them. Tapping in to your own reservoir of strength that knows deeply that you can hold it all, that you are strong enough. And if at any point it feels like just too much, come back to the breath, come back to the sensations of the nurturing hands on the body. And come back to the strength of this community, that we are all here together for the same purpose, with our loving hearts supporting one another. And now silently repeating these phrases to yourself. May I accept myself exactly as I am in this moment. May I be the change I want to see in this world. May I continue to learn and grow. May I have the courage to keep an open heart and an open mind. And may I have the strength and the tools, and will seek the tools if I don't have them, to manage my own discomfort as I stay committed to my own growth and learning. Now I invite you to tap into your own inner wisdom. What is the wish you have for your own self? What is it that you need to hear right now? And just allow those words to come and for your heart to open and receive them. And taking a big breath in and holding it at the top of the inhalation and audibly releasing. And I want to invite each of you to imagine the rays of love that permeate from your heart, connecting to each of the other 140 people that are here together right now, and the invisible ways that connect us, and the micro moments of love that sustain us. Honoring and seeing all the ways that we are different, from skin color and religion, heritage, ethnicity, cultures, music taste, food preference, honoring all the beautiful differences. And honoring all the ways in which we are similar. And allowing your heart to fill from your own love that you give and these rays of love that you are receiving. And I'm going to be quiet for the next couple of minutes while we each bask in this love. And so if your eyes were closed, I invite you to gently let the light seep back in as you open your eyes. You can move and stretch your body in any way you so need right now. Thank you. Thank you for making this choice to take this time out to tune in to your own precious heart. And I could really feel the power of our collective hearts, and I hope you could too. And I would love to hear how that was for you. And I also want to acknowledge one of the comments. Let's see, Open Ear Ja from Kingston, Jamaica, who said, "We as Black people who live and have lived in white-dominated cultures have lived with ongoing trauma and epigenetic trauma all of our lives." And I just want to deeply honor that and say, yes, you have, and I am so sorry. And I take my own personal responsibility to stay dedicated to doing everything that I can to help change that and to provide a safe place for us to help this transformation and for your healing, and that I see you and I honor you. And I hope we each can do the same. And it is my call to you to hear the reckoning. And as someone said, Aaron, above, the mindful reckoning, that we still maintain our wise heart and wise mind. And yet we take that reckoning and we heed it and we act again and again. And we show up even when it's hard, and we find the ways to nurture our tender hearts and to be able to tolerate the discomfort and keep going. Thank you all for this beautiful time together. And I just want to thank you. And I hope you can take this connection and nurturing into your day and into your weeks, and know that we are here every Sunday. Nearly, once in a while something happens and we aren't, but we are here nearly almost every Sunday. And also, if you haven't checked out Elisha's Mindful Living Collective, it is also another really incredible space that has over 5,000 people who come together in community to connect and learn and support and practice. And it's really turning into such a beautiful, safe space. And so it's just the mindfullivingcollective.com. And there's also events like sound baths and spoken word poetry and guitar and other beautiful things. So we hope you guys also join us over there. And thank you all for your thank yous. And I know it's a lot right now. It really is. As I can say, in my lifetime, there has never been so much that has happened all at one time. And so we really have to double down and dedicate ourselves to our own personal practice. Because if we're not okay, we can't keep showing up in the world for our families, for our Black friends and families, for this planet. And so it is a both and. And always remember that it is truly a both and. So thank you. I wish you all a truly blessed day, and I will see you soon. Take care.